Hello everybody! Once again we are here for another edition of WWE 2015, How I Would Book It. Now, before I start, let me explain something that, in my opinion, I would constitute this as a online commentary, I would constitute this as a let's play, I would constitute this as a lot of things. I call it a How I Would Book It because in my opinion, that's how I differentiate from other people. But, fact of the matter is, other people don't call it a How I Would Book It. Other people call it a Let's Play. Which makes it difficult for me to get views, because people aren't looking up my title, they're looking up Let's Play. So, go figure. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the show. The first segment on the show. I don't know why let me stop touching it, maybe it'll get into focus. Yeah. The first segment of the show shows a limo pulling up backstage, and nobody gets out of it, which leads the announcers to question who's in the limo. And it leads the announcers to do that. And that brings us back into the arena after the announcers start talking. Stop talking, Triple H comes out. Triple H, as you can probably read, rants about how much he hates Sting. And Triple H cuts a short promo talking about something, and he says something like this: Sting is a coward because he comes when you're not expecting him. He refuses to show up when you are expecting him. I'm waiting for him, but he refuses to show up because he's a coward. So I'm gonna lay this challenge out. Sting, how about it? You wanna stick your nose in my business? You wanna try and screw with me? If you can hear me, meet me at WrestleMania, and we will go 1-on-1. You don't have to show up tonight. You don't have to show up next week. All you have to do is show up in California on Sunday. On that Sunday for WrestleMania. Or maybe you're too much of a coward to even do that. And then out of nowhere we hear Hulk Hogan's entrance theme. And that leads to Hogan coming out. And Hogan has something like this to say: Hunter, I respect you. I respect what your family, the McMahons, have been able to do, because in more than one way, if there was no WWE, there'd be no Hulk Hogan. As Hulk Hogan may not have been as big as he was because of WWE. Not used to hearing modesty from you, Terry. Not used to hearing modesty from you, Hulk. Look, Hunter, I'm not out here to talk about me. I'm out here to talk about Sting. How did I know? How did I know, Hulk? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Defend him? Hulk, if you didn't realize You weren't made a star because of WCW. You were made a star because of this company. Because just because you worked in that company, WCW, for a few years doesn't mean you were made a star there. Because you already were the biggest star in the business before you went to WCW. You're right. You're right, Triple H. You're right, Hunter. I was the biggest star in the business before I went to WCW. But I was not the biggest star in WCW. I was not the franchise of WCW. Sting was. And truth be told, Hunter, you might be calling him a coward, but nobody is better at picking the opportune time to show his face than Sting. You might think he's a coward, but everybody else knows Sting is not a coward. And I guarantee you, if you want to challenge him, Sting has never backed down from a fight. And he never will. Believe you me, I know. Hulk, I respect you, but I don't believe you. Because I've been calling out Sting for the last 2 weeks, and nothing. Once he answers me, once he comes out to this ring and faces me, man to man, then I will believe you. Until that time, I don't believe you. Now we move to the next segment. As that segment comes to a close, maybe if there we go. I would have the announcers discussing Seth Rollins, and the reason why I would have them discussing Seth Rollins is because they feel like Seth Rollins for the first time is on the defensive, dealing with Randy Orton, when usually he was on the offensive. That was until, I want to say last week, on SmackDown, when the Authority attacked Randy Orton. And I would have them show a video package about that. And then we would move on. And, you know, they would mention that it's still let's just move on. Ryback versus Luke Harper. Look, I have a great amount of storylines, of feuds going. I just don't have a storyline for everyone. I mean, is that good? No. Is that expected? Yeah, I'm not Vince Russo. And what does that have to do with anything? It has to do with Ryback. Ryback is capable of being in a feud, and in many ways should be. But I just don't have anything for him right now. Does that mean I'm going to release him? No. That just means he's going to, be hovering around. And now we go back to the announcers, as Michael Cole tells us that, a graphic pops up that the main event is going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. And we see, and then we hear, the Authority, the announcers talking about what that means this close to WrestleMania for Roman Reigns. It could be a momentum booster, or it could be a momentum crusher. Now we go backstage with the Authority and Seth Rollins complaining about this. He would say, I can't believe this. How did I get in a ring? How did I get in a match with Roman Reigns? I have to be looking over my shoulder for Randy Orton, and now I gotta be looking over my shoulder for Roman Reigns? Or I had to be looking over my shoulder for Randy Orton? I don't think. This isn't right. Seth, calm down. We got your back. We took care of Randy, and he ain't gonna be doing anything anytime soon. Tonight we take care of Roman. If need be. And then they all have the smirky grin on their face. I know they're being interviewed, but I just can't remember if they're being interviewed about both the Authority, both AJ and Paige, excuse me, or just one of them. Either way, they're going to be echoing this sentiment. Bree will start it with, AJ, you never learn. You ran your mouth, and you paid the price by by having to get into a 1-on-3 handicap match against me, Nikki, and Tamina. You didn't learn your lesson. But you learned a lesson. You learned a lesson that Stephanie McMahon proved that she knows who should be leading the division. And then Nikki would finish it with, you're right, Brie. Steph knows who should be leading the division, and she knows it shouldn't be AJ or Paige. It should be a real diva. And a real diva, the people who should be the face, the women who should be the face of the division, you're looking at them, the Bella Twins. One of us should be the face of this division, not the freaks who are in the spot now. Heel, they're heels, so make fun of the heel. Make fun of the baby faces. Say they look better, It's been a while since Nikki and Brie worked, so I just put them in a match, tag match. I'm probably going to put AJ in a match next week or on SmackDown before WrestleMania to have them all work, because I think Paige worked last week against, I think she worked against somebody on Main Event. I don't remember. I think she worked against Cameron on Main Event, maybe. I don't remember. Either way, we move on to the next match. Roman Reigns is in the ring, and he calls out Brock Lesnar. But Brock doesn't come out. So now Brock is taunting both Roman is taunting both Brock and Paul Heyman. Roman would say something like this: all this talk of people being cowards, I'm looking at the biggest coward of them all. I'll be looking at the biggest coward of them all in 2 weeks at WrestleMania. Because Brock Lesnar, you come and go when you please. You ain't a real champion. A real champion is here every single week, willing to step in that ring and defend the honor of that title. You call yourself the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The only way you qualify as being undisputed is jeez, why can't I speak? The only thing you're undisputed at is taking days off. Brock, people you've stepped in the ring against in the past were afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. You don't scare me. You might be riding your high horse from beating John Cena at SummerSlam, from beating The Undertaker last year at WrestleMania, but this is where you get knocked off your high horse and taken down back to earth. I am going to take your title away at WrestleMania. You can believe that. Out comes, out of nowhere, from out of nowhere, we just hear The Rock's theme song play. The Rock comes out, and he talks to his cousin. First, of course, he hugs him, and he says something a little short. Roman, all of us had to deal with critics. Even I had to deal with my critics. But what did I do? I became The Rock. And that made me who I am. Because I was able to be who I am. Many people think you're getting too much too soon. But fact is, there's no doubting your talent. And being honest, after that, I would probably let him improv it, because it's his cousin, you know. If it wasn't his family, number one, he probably wouldn't be there. But if it wasn't his family, he wouldn't be able to speak from the heart like I'm looking for. You know, and putting him over in a subtle way. And a nice way. You know, like a family-oriented way. Yeah. So let's move to the next segment. We come back from commercial break, and Goldust is coming down for color for the next match. Take a guess which match this is. His brothers in action against Machismo. Look, if you don't know who Machismo is, that's fine. But to be honest, I don't think enough of you are going to watch this video to be curious who Machismo is. If you're curious, but I will say, if you're curious who Machismo is, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to let you know who he is, because it is somebody known. I just changed his name because of who I am. WWE. A very good match, though. 68, that's a very good match. Unexpected for Stardust and Machismo. I think that's Machismo's best match. Following the match, though, as we move on, Stardust grabs Mike, looking dead in his brother's eyes. Let's set up the setting. Stardust goes outside the ring, grabs a mic, stands by the announce position, looks his brother right in the eyes and says, Goldust, you say I crossed the line when I knocked down Dusty? If your brother still existed, that would actually have an effect on me. But fact of the matter is, it doesn't. Because I am Stardust. I am not who you want me to be. And I will never become him again. Because Cody Rhodes had a glass ceiling. Stardust just sees stars. You want it? You want to try and knock some sense into me? I'll see you at WrestleMania. You got it. And then I would have him slap him right in the face. I would have him slap him right in the face and walk away with the creepy. I would have him walk away doing his creepy laugh as we move on. Look, every week I've done it since the night after Royal Rumble. So, at this point, I don't really know how much talking I have to do for this segment, but I will say this. I don't know if just saying it's the usual, if that works, or saying that Bray would write the segment. Bray would write everything. Bray would write everything. And I would just okay. Why? I've given him this ability to do unscripted promos since Royal Rumble. He's never disappointed. So I'm not going to start writing his promos now. We move to the next segment. The Undertaker plays mind games again, but this time Bray says something. He goes to say WrestleMania is your finest hour and will be your resting place. Dead man, you step in the ring with me, I will end your career, and I will be the new face of... Then the lights go out, and the purple smoke comes up, and you hear the gong, but no Undertaker. But you hear his voice. His voice comes over the PA, and you hear him say, Bray Wyatt, I accept your challenge for WrestleMania, and you will rest in peace. And then he's, of course, Bray is in his rocking chair, sitting down in his rocking chair in the middle of the ring like he was in real life. And lightning comes down from the ceiling and strikes his rocking chair, and his rocking chair gets set ablaze. And Bray, goes back in shock because of what happened, but then he starts laughing as the segment comes to a close. This one's short. As you can see, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar have arrived at the arena, and they don't look happy. Now we move to the next segment as Bad News Barrett versus R-Truth. B&B still has this feud with Dean Ambrose, so that's why B&B wins this match. Speaking of his feud with Dean Ambrose, Bad News calls out Dean, and he challenges Dean to a match, but Dean does not say he accepts, but he does accept as a brawl breaks out between Bad News and Dean. And, of course, security and officials come down and break up the brawl. But I would have Dean break through and do a breakthrough.
Your food's here, guys. Food's here.
Okay. I would have Dean break through and get at him, and then the security break it up again as we go to commercial. And the show resumes with a history package highlighting Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, going into stopping and focusing on, I want to say last week's SmackDown, but I don't remember, to tell you the truth. If that was when the Authority attacked Randy. Because Randy is at the arena, but is not going to be competing tonight. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but that was the focus of the segment. You know, last week's attack. Now, the announcers are discussing they're announcing they have just been told that there will be a contract signing between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns next week on Raw for their match in 2 weeks at WrestleMania. Okay. We move to the next segment. Rusev versus Daniel Bryan. Now, you might say, how do you have Rusev beat Daniel Bryan not only this close to WrestleMania, but in general? Think about it. It's a credible win. It's a credible win for Rusev. It's not like it was a clean finish. Lana distracted him. Lana distracted Daniel Bryan. Dolph Ziggler ran in and attacked him. I would have Dolph run in from the crowd as I would have Lana in on the stage side, up on the apron, distracting Daniel and the ref. Rusev would be down on the outside, and Dolph would run in from the far side of the arena, hop the railing, drop Daniel with the zigzag. Rusev would come in and hit him with the accolade, and then Daniel would be done because of the fact that he passed out. But Rusev, of course, doesn't let go, and Dolph comes back in the ring and is rubbing Daniel's nose in the fact that he's stuck in Rusev's in the accolade. That is until, of course, Kurt Angle runs in and makes the save for Daniel Bryan, as both Rusev and Dolph vanish from the ring, as Lana pulls Rusev off and gets him out of the ring, and Dolph escapes the ring, which leads to Kurt helping up Daniel, and a heated confrontation between the four rivals. As we move to the next segment. The next segment is Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. Randy is wishing Roman Reigns luck against Seth Rollins tonight. And Roman says he doesn't need luck. He knows Seth Rollins better than anybody. But Randy says, this close to WrestleMania, you need luck. Now we move to the John Cena Open Challenge. And the person who accepts the Open Challenge tonight is Fandango. And it was probably Fandango's best match ever. I apologize for the length. My video camera isn't working, so I don't really know how long this is. That's probably not good, but yeah. Now we keep going. Cena cuts. Look, I would let Cena completely unscripted. This promo would be about WrestleMania and the fact that right now he doesn't have anything to do with WrestleMania. So I would have Cena officially enter the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I know. So people don't forget about Jericho and Kevin Owens. I would have a video play for their feud, highlighting their feud that has happened over the last month, let's say. I don't really remember how long the feud has happened. In all honesty, I would let the Dudley Boys go off script. I would let them write their own promo, give them the opportunity to shine, which is what I did in the game. So I really have nothing to say with that, and they did amazing, getting total creative freedom. This match totally shit the bed and was just incredibly bad because of outside circumstances that the game allows. And I would have Brock Lesnar, as if you didn't see in the post-match in the match recap, I would have Brock Lesnar out there and cost Seth Rollins the match. And following the match, after Seth Rollins leaves, Brock Lesnar would drop Roman Reigns with an F5. As Roman would be down from the curb stomp, Brock would pick up Roman and drop him with an F5. And then the final segment, and what we would see when the show goes black, is Heyman and Brock celebrating in the ring with the WWE World Heavyweight title high above their head. Look, this show wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I expected a lot more from the show. I expected a lot more from Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It's the final segment, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't meant to be, due to lack of flow, lack of whatever. Look, we got 2 weeks before WrestleMania. I got 3 shows. 2 SmackDowns, 1 Raw. WrestleMania's right around the corner, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. I love the fact that my direction for the company got over. It's an amazing feeling. The ride isn't over yet. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.